Hi, my name is Betty Hoyutle. Today I will present about my final year project with the title of BANDGAP modification of CUO-DOPED RUTILE phase TiO2 film for UV light active photocatalysis via hydrothermal doping synthesis. In this video, I will share about the results that I have obtained, particularly on the characterization analysis, which there are a total of 6 analyses that I have done, and I have done the photo degradation analysis as well. I will explain the first analysis, which is done using X-ray diffraction on the crystallinity and the chemical state of my sample. As you can see from the result, the peak position did not change with the dopant concentration. This is mainly due to the dopant ions replace the titanium 4 ions in the lattice without distorting the structure, which is important because it does not disrupt with the photocatalytic ability of titanium dioxide. And the next observation is there are no diffraction peaks related to metallic copper oxide or any other oxides. So this means that the rutile phase does not interfere with was not interfered upon doping, and the metal ions are successfully distributed on the surface of TiO2. Or another reason may be due to the concentrations of CuO is too low to be detected by XRD. This is a common observation observed by past researchers as well. The next analysis is done using Raman spectroscopy to further check if all the samples are in rutile phase. As you can see from the result, the Raman active phonons are detected at B1G, EG, and also A1G. All distinct bands are connected to the rutile phase TiO2 as seen in all spectra, whether doped or undoped. This marks a successful hydrothermal process to produce a rutile phase TiO2. The next analysis is on the elemental property, which is done using energy dispersive X-ray. This is to see whether the elements that we want exist in our samples. So the results here has proved that all samples contain the expected element. For the doped TiO2, we have Ti, O, and Cu, and for the undoped TiO2, we only have Ti and O observed. So this shows a successful hydrothermal process. Next analysis is optical property, which is done using the UV-Vis spectrophotometer. As you can see from the results, as the amount of copper oxide increase, the absorbance increase and the absorption edge shift towards a higher wavelength. A higher wavelength is desirable because, which means that it can have a photocatalytic effect at the visible region if we do it under the visible light. And as a photocatalyst, a high absorbance is definitely desirable because it can absorb more light to create reactive species for the redox reaction during the photocatalytic. The band gap of each samples are calculated using top plot, and as you can see here, when we increase the amount of dopant, the band gap decreased, and the cause of this is due to the formation of impurity levels between the valence band and the conduction band. And the benefits of a decreased band gap is it can enhance the photocatalytic activity because the energy required for electron to be excited to the conduction band from the valence band is decreased. So this increased the absorption capability of copper doped TiO2. Since the photocatalytic process occurs at the surface of titania, which is TiO2, this means that more electrons and holes can take part in the redox reaction before they can recombine as a pair. Now we move on to the morphological property, which is done using field emission scanning electron microscopy. As observed here, when the concentration of dopant increase, the tip of the rod, it starts to have a rougher surface, and we can see the flower-like structure has been successfully obtained as we desired for this experiment. The surface roughness is analyzed through the topological property, which is done using atomic force microscopy. This is an important characteristic as well because from past research, a rough surface can lead to a better photocatalytic efficiency. So as you can see here, when we increase the amount of dopant to 5 weight percentage, a rougher surface was obtained. And we can observe it from the value of RPV, which is the roughness of peak to valley, which is from the most bottom of the surface to the most top of the surface. Now we move on to the photodegradation of methylene blue, or also known as the photocatalytic analysis in this project. This photodegradation is done in here. It has a fan and has a stage and a magnetic stirrer, and this two is a total of 100 watt of UV light. So a beaker will be placed here and it will be stirred constantly throughout 10 hours. This is the one of the sample after the photodegradation analysis is done after 10 hours. The photocatalytic degradation is done for 10 hours, and firstly, the sample is exposed to UV light for 30 minutes to eliminate the undesired adsorption of molecules and to refine the adsorption of methylene blue later. And then after 30 minutes, the lights will be closed, and then the methylene blue solution will be put into the beaker and stirred for 30 minutes in the dark for the adsorption and desorption equilibrium. After 30 minutes, we will start to on the UV light for the remaining of the 10 hours, and at every 2 hours interval, a small amount of sample will be taken out for the analysis reasons. As seen from the absorbance versus wavelength graph here, it can be seen that the absorbance peak decrease, which indicates that methylene blue is degrading after 10 hours of irradiation under 100 watt of UV light, and the light irradiation is dependent on time. From the most right image on the inset image, it shows that the physical view of methylene blue decolorization is very blue, and then when you go to the most left, it turns almost crystal clear. For the novelty of my project, although there are a lot of research done on the copper doping for TiO2, but I have not found any research which uses the same experimental parameter as me and obtain this result. So I consider my study to be a contribution to the research of photocatalysis research area. To conclude my project, I have successfully achieved all the 3 objectives, and the photocatalytic study demonstrated that the TiO2 CuO 5 weight percentage film exhibit the best methylene blue degradation under 100 watt UV light. And this is contributed by the rougher surface of the sample and also the flower-like structure of the TiO2 CuO film, which help to provide more active sites for the photocatalytic reaction. Although as seen from the result, the undoped and doped TiO2 photodegradation rate is not much of a difference, which is less than 2%. However, I'm sure in the industry, a slight improvement can also cause a huge impact for the environment, because it means that more contaminant can be eliminated and it can be cost saving over time. And for a large scale operation, we can consider that the efficiency has a minor improvement and it can save costs. Thank you so much. That is all from me. Thank you for your attention.